expected, frustrated, relieved, satisfied, tricked. These and many other words can be used to describe how a Packers fan might feel after that regular season finale in Detroit. Let's talk about it, along with great listener feedback, of course, all on this edition of your Packers Fan Podcast.
What's up, Packers family? This is Scott from the Gaming Outsider, and while I wasn't exactly happy with the results of this game, I should have expected it. At least it was an entertaining game. Let's just hope it motivates the Packers that much more to give 110% in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. And for the 247th episode, I'm Wayne Henderson from MediaVoiceovers.com, and now I wait to find out who has to come to Lambeau Field first to face the Pack in the playoffs. So, this time on your Packers Fan Podcast, Scott and I will recap the Packers' regular season finale in Detroit, including what we loved and what we didn't. There was a fair amount of both.
And as usual, we'll share your insights as well in our listener feedback section. Looking forward to that as we do each and every week. Let's talk about some highlights from the Packers' loss in Detroit. First off, it was pretty good to see the Packers starting strong. That was pretty encouraging. They didn't wait until the third quarter like they've been doing for the past few weeks. There was a long opening drive wrapping up with an Allen Lazard touchdown, and Lazard got another touchdown a bit later as well, so that was good to see.
That was a great way to start the afternoon for sure. And part of that might be due to the fact that the Packers are getting healthy at the exact right time. So fantastic to see Bakhtiari, as well as our center, Josh Myers, back out there doing their thing. And as a bonus, no huge new injuries to worry about. We made it out of Detroit, Scott, pretty much unscathed.
Close to unscathed, but we'll get that in the lowlights here in just a second. But did you notice the difference in that offensive line with Bakhtiari and Myers? He had so much time out there. And granted, the receivers didn't always get open as much as we like, but there were so many times that Rodgers was back in the pocket and then scrambling out of the pocket for 10, 15 seconds, and then he wound up scrambling forward, which made me super nervous. But if that continues in the playoffs, that gets me really excited. If we can see that for 4 quarters, I'm definitely stoked.
And speaking of getting healthy, I read just this afternoon that Zadarius Smith has been cleared to play and return.
Yes, we got 2 weeks to get him 100%. We got 2 weeks to get everybody else 100%. Things are heating up, man. It could be a very interesting wildcard weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. Also, it's important to note that Devontae gets the record. He has officially reached 1,535 yards in a single season. This beats the Green Bay Packers record originally placed by Jordy Nelson, back in, I want to say that was 2014? 2014? Something like that. There is a bit of an asterisk with that stat, though, however, because as you know, this is the first season that we've had 17 games, 18 weeks of regular season football. So he wouldn't have beat it if it hadn't been for that extra week. But regardless, he was still just 22 yards shy. So it's a great accomplishment either way.
And in the listener feedback section, a little later in this episode, somebody points out something else to look at when you're thinking of that asterisk. But just think, Scott, what kind of records are going to be broken when we move to a 25-game season?
Oh, don't tempt them, man. I don't know if I could handle a 25-game season. This one extra week alone was crazy. So
definitely noticeable. And our running game was fairly strong, even with Aaron Jones being out for this game, so that he can get fully healed for the playoffs. And A.J. Dillon's playing time seemed to be limited a bit as well. I think they're saving his strength for the playoffs. But
for sure.
Number 27, Patrick Taylor getting some serious work running the ball. And then Jordan Love getting a little more much-needed playing time just in case. And it was cool to see Taylor, speaking of his running game, got his first ever NFL touchdown.
That's always cool to see. And it felt kind of like a preseason game in that we were getting to see some of the second and third string players, up to bat, as it were. Wrong sport, I know. But it's good to see that we've got some what do you call it? We got a couple in the chamber just in case things happen that can still move forward. It's just, I say this every week, but it's just crazy that we have a running game. It feels like the Packers have always been pass only for forever, and I'm really loving it. Also, Jordan Love getting some playing time. You know, we're going to talk about some lowlights in a second, but we got to talk about some of the positives in that aspect too, because everyone's dogging on Jordan Love and, you know, how he's just not the miracle worker that Aaron Rodgers is. You know, he's brand new, guys. Aaron Rodgers wasn't perfect coming out the gate. Brett Favre wasn't perfect coming out the gate, and they spent a lot longer time sitting on the bench. We're not doing the Chicago thing and putting our, you know, first round pick quarterback as our only quarterback right off the gate. So he's getting his licks in, and I still think he looked really good, man. That pass to DeGuara, perfect. It looked really good. There's a lot of positives to say about Jordan Love, and it gets disheartening when people just don't want to get behind their new quarterback because he's not as good as what we've had for the past 25 years, you know?
And added to him only having 2 seasons, he didn't really have camp his first season because of the good old COVID. So everything kind of slowed it down. And when you're speaking of that throw to DeGuara, is that the one where he had the long catch and run all the way in for a touchdown in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it was really cool to see. His passing is really solid outside of one pretty glaring mistake he made at the end of the game. But, you know, that's the kind of stuff you expect from a new quarterback. He's not going to be this, you know, top tier quarterback his first and second seasons in the league. So, you know, remember back when Favre was our quarterback and we were talking about Rodgers on the bench and everyone's like, I don't know about this Rodgers guy. He's no Brett Favre. And look how everybody worships him now. You know, it takes time. And it's going to take time for Jordan Love. He's got a huge shadow that he's stuck behind right now. I have faith in the guy. I said the same thing about Dylan, didn't I? And look where we're at with Dylan right now.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. And Jordan Love, he did run it in for the 2-point conversion after the DeGuara touchdown.
Yeah. He did a little Brett Favre thing, or not Brett Favre thing, but Aaron Rodgers thing where he kind of holds the ball out and just kind of like pranced in there like it was no big deal. Yeah. He enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you do. And so that was good. And, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm starting to think more and more that maybe Jordan Love won't be our quarterback after this season, depending on what the Packers do. But I'm behind whoever they put out there as quarterback. It's the Packers that I'm rooting for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we got to talk about some lowlights, definitely, because this was a loss. The big one for me were the injuries. I know you said we came out pretty clean, but MVS did leave the game with a back injury, and we also lost Sullivan to a knee injury. So hopefully neither of those are severe, and they were just pulled for a precaution. But again, 2 weeks to recover. So those are really the only marks we had on injuries this week, which is more than we wanted going into a game that meant nothing. But we'll have to see how they're doing in a couple weeks.
Right. And since we record on Monday nights, it's too early in the week to see the official injury report to really know the details. And definitely, we don't want either of those injuries to be severe. Mm-hmm. I got the impression, just the way that the guys calling the game were talking about, MVS has kind of had a bit of a nagging back injury thing. So maybe it's just a little acting up a bit and he'll be okay. But that's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully it's just a better safe than sorry type of situation.
Right. That's what I want. Now, as far as one of the lowlights that jumps out at me is I don't like the fact that our defense, especially in the second half, fell for just about any trick play the Lions wanted to run.
The only one that we came out on top was that missed fourth down fake punt they did that wound up in our favor and put us in pretty good field position. But what was it? There was like a weird flea flicker where the wide receiver threw one. Like, it was nuts.
And then another one that was kind of a twist on that play, and we fell for it again, leaving Lions players just wide open. But I'm sure that we'll learn from that because I bet the guys are feeling a little bit burned.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Crosby did miss another extra point, which, you know, we don't like to see. It's crazy. I don't know what it is with the line being backed up. Maybe nerves. I can't imagine Crosby's got nerves, but again, it didn't really matter. But hopefully that gets tightened up as we head into the playoffs.
And there were a lot of kickers having trouble all season, even this past weekend. It's just one of those weird things. This is just a strange year. You alluded to this just a little bit earlier, but you just kind of knew that the game was going to end on Jordan Love throwing an interception. I mean, it's not that it's totally unavoidable. It's just that's how things go when you have your backup playing and we're trying to win the game and come from behind. That's just how those games end.
Yeah, and the game ended in those last 2 minutes with 2 interceptions, and I will say the first one was not his fault. I think it was tipped by multiple players, and the second one, however, was just a bad throw. It should not have. It was not thrown in the right place, and I'm not going to say it was tipped. It just the receiver did not hang on to it, and then it bobbled up, and that's all she wrote. But yeah, those are the kinds of things you expect from a rookie quarterback. So. Again, I'm not seriously bothered. This isn't a game that mattered, and right. This is getting him experience on the field, which is what he needs in order to be a top tier quarterback. And give him time; he'll get there.
And although I don't really follow college football, I've talked to some people that do, and they say that the quarterback draft coming out this year is not all that strong. Mm-hmm. And although some people have been dogging on Jordan Love, and we wish he was further along. They think that Jordan Love is definitely better as a quarterback than anybody coming out of the draft this year. Mm-hmm. So if the Packers are thinking about trying to trade him, he should have some pretty decent trade value. I'm not going to speculate on what the Packers might do because a lot of it might be up to, whether or not we win the Super Bowl, whether or not Aaron Rodgers wants to retire. Lots of variables, Scott.
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, man. Let's get through this season first, and then we can speculate down the road, right? We got plenty of off season for that. Also, I thought it was worth noting a couple things. First off, I thought it was really cool that this game, last game of the season for the regular season, came down to 2 brothers facing off each other, the St. Brown brothers, which was really cool to see. We saw them several times in the stands, but his parents were there, and they both had on jerseys that were sewn together to be both Packers and Lions jerseys, and then like the wife actually had like the reciprocal. So one had a Packers one with Lions piping, and then the other one had like a Lions one with Green Bay piping. I just thought that was really cool. Could you imagine being parents of 2 kids that both are are star quarterbacks on their respective teams in the NFL? That's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, they both have a bright future at the wide receiver position.
Oh yeah. Last thing I want to say about the game, though, is, although no teams really play to lose, it is interesting that this win lost the Lions their first-round draft pick since the Jaguars beat the Colts earlier in the day. So part of you wonders, did they want to lose this game? Because they don't have they could have got first-round draft pick, but now they got second.
Which very well could turn out to be a lot better than what the first pick is going to be. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, try telling an NFL football player to not win a game.
Right. It's not going to happen. And we'll talk about it a little later on. But just like in that Raiders-Chargers game, they could have just very easily in overtime taken a tie. But that's not what football players do.
There were so many things I wanted to happen in that game, but we'll get to that later on too. As a reminder, everybody, we love each and every one of you, and we love hearing from you even more. So call us after the wild card round of the playoffs and let us know your early thoughts of the team the Packers will be hosting in the divisional round. Obviously, we don't know who that is yet, and we won't know until after wild card weekend next weekend. But do you like the matchup? What kind of final score do you expect? Heck, you can even let us know if you're heading out to the game, which, spoiler alert, there's a good possibility I might be going to that game, Mr. Henderson.
Ooh.
There's layers. A possibility. Yeah, definitely layers. It is cold up here. It is 5 degrees outside my house right now. So hopefully it's not that cold at a game if I get to go. It's not a for sure thing. Some ducks have to fall in line. It depends on when the game is and some other factors. But there is a possibility. But anyway, our voicemail line, if you'd like to call us, is 920-3PACK-GO, or you can send a voice message to feedback@Packers Fan Podcast to be part of next week's show. The deadline is Sunday night at midnight Eastern Time, unless it comes down to the Monday night game between the Rams and the Cardinals to decide who comes to Green Bay. Then we have to postpone everything for a day. But either way, call us immediately after the game that decides who's coming to Green Bay. We would love to hear from you. Who do we hear from this week, Wayne?
Go, Pod, go! Go, Pod, go! Hey, guys, Andre in LA. Not really much to take away from this game. For everyone look healthy, everyone look good. I guess the only we got to see more of Jordan Love, and he did look a little bit more comfortable. But, it's only, like his second game he really played, so it was just something to keep an eye on. I know we're going into a bye week. I don't know what the loss, I still haven't really figured out how everything's going to shape out. I'll listen to the podcast and see how you guys explain it to me, because I'm confused by everything a little bit. It just seems like I think we got the number one seed throughout the whole playoffs, so otherwise why not play in the second half? It's been a great season. It feels like it, again, last season felt like it was going to be our season. This season feels like it more so because the defense looks great. The offense looks very efficient, very balanced. The coaching is there. It's aggressive when it needs to be aggressive, passive when I feel it needs to be passive. The only real question mark is special teams. Hopefully, Ryan won't let us down, and I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's. You guys, I know you know who I am. Just love saying it. I'm here in LA. As always, go, Pack, go! Hope you guys enjoyed the holidays.
Hey, Andre, always great to hear from you, man. Yeah, see, somebody else is with me. I like how he said that Jordan Love looked a little bit more comfortable. This is only the second game that he played for sure. He needs the experience in order to be the quarterback that we want him to be. So I think we all just need to be a little bit patient with him. It has been a great season. Feels like our season. Granted, we did say that the last two seasons too, that it feels like our season. So hopefully the NFC Championship game will be a little bit better in our favor this year, because I don't think I can take another loss in the NFC Championship game. But yeah, special teams definitely a question mark. But I guess the returns weren't as bad. We didn't have any muffed punts. We didn't have any real terrible tackling on returns. Things are tightening up a little bit, which is what we want heading into that first week in Green Bay. So looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that was very nice to see. And Andre, I'm sorry your cell phone connection was a little choppy this week. A few sentences got cut off, but it's always great to hear from you. All the great stuff was in there. And since the Packers are the number one seed throughout the playoffs, all we have to do is what we've done all year. We're undefeated at home, and if we just win 2 more home games, we're going to L.A. Or if they moved a game to Dallas, who knows? All that crazy stuff. But anyways, great to hear from you, Andre. And let's see who else gave us a call this week.
Go, 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 Pack, go. Yes, we had a loss, but it was really, honestly, a meaningless game. We already had the number one seed and the bye locked up. Looks like trick plays was the name of the game today. Detroit was just emptying their playbook with a fake handoff, reverse pass by a wide receiver for a touchdown, the fake punt pass that ended up getting dropped by the wide receiver, the end around flea flicker. They were just emptying out their playbook against us just to, I guess, to end their season on a fake note. Nope. No, they ended their season on a good note, but in doing so, they also lost the number one pick in the NFL draft. I just don't understand why they wanted to do that. But, a win is a win for them. I expected more from Jordan Love. He got all of the preseason first-team snaps due to Rodgers' holdout. And he also had all the first-team snaps since Rodgers came up positive from COVID and then the broken toe. He consistently seemed to stare down his first read, especially that 2-point conversion attempt. It was ridiculous. Like, he had 3 seconds and he was just staring it down the whole entire time. His pocket presence seemed to be abysmal. But then again, Aaron Rodgers didn't make a big leap till year 3 or 4, so time will tell. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers comes back for multiple seasons, obviously. He's still playing at that MVP level. He should win his second consecutive and 4th NFL MVP. We'll see. The defense is a little bit concerning to me. I'm not sure how long they played at the first-team guys, but hopefully more key starters will return, just like David Bakhtiari did for the offensive line. He played almost 30 snaps today, so I think he's doing fine. And one play in particular that stand out to me is that there was a play where Rodgers had just all day in the pocket to make a pass, and it was a completion. So we'll see how that happen, how things will play out here in the postseason in 2 weeks. In the end, yes, it was a loss, but it was a meaningless loss. The starters were able to play, keep their gears from getting sticky. The returning players got some rust knocked off, and the ailing players got some downtime. I got to say congrats to Davante Adams for breaking the single-season receiving yards record, beating out Jordy Nelson. There should be no asterisk at the end of that record because, yes, it was a 17-game season, but Tay did it in 16 games because he was out for one of those games. I also have to give a shout-out to my dad. Early on Friday, he passed away. I was looking forward to watching the postseason with him. I think tomorrow I'm doing a jersey that I got for him for Christmas with his birth year and his name on the back of it. So I'll be wearing that throughout the postseason. Love that man. He was the one that got me into football at a young age. And I want to say thank you for all the people that reached out to me in this community that we were friends with on Facebook and everything, and reaching out to me and giving their condolences and their good vibes and their prayers to me. It doesn't mean, it means the world to me. It really does. There's only one thing I have left to say. Go, 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 Pack, go!
Dan, a.k.a. Pack Sparrow, so great to hear from you, and definitely condolences on the loss of your father. I'm glad that he was the one that got you into football and leading you this direction.
Very sorry for your loss, man. My condolences.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and hang in there, buddy. You've had quite a year. But you made great points in the voicemail as far as Detroit just emptying the playbook with those trick plays.
I was waiting for the hook and ladder play at some point, right?
I bet they were going to get to it if they had one more shot. And Dan found it interesting that they did end up, by winning the game, losing their number one pick in the NFL draft. Good points about Jordan Love, getting all of the preseason snaps with the first teamers because Aaron Rodgers was out, and then Aaron Rodgers was out with COVID mid-season for a couple of weeks. He's a little concerned how Jordan stares down his receivers, though, Scott.
What you mean, like he's not taking his eyes off? He knows who he wants to throw the ball to, so it's not,
right.
It's not
obvious.
Misdirecting the defense. Yeah, that probably comes with time, right? You're not going to do that right out the gate. College and NFL are quite a bit different.
So the defense is a little concerning, but we're getting more guys back, like we mentioned earlier. Zadarius Smith, that alone should make a huge difference. And what do you think about his thoughts on Davante's record and not really needing an asterisk?
That's a good point. I forgot that Davante missed a game because of COVID. So basically he did achieve the record. Yeah, it still counts. I completely forgot about that. So thanks for bringing that up, Dan. It makes a good point. I'd have to go back and see if Jordy missed any games that season or not, but I'm sure someone will fact check me on that one.
People do like to fact check on stuff. Let's check in and see what the listeners thought about our weekly poll question this week in the Facebook group at PackersCommunity.com, as well as on Twitter at PackersFanPod. Do you think the Packers did enough in the game against Detroit to count as momentum as we head into our playoff bye week? The initial questions were yes, both offense and defense achieved that, or yes, but really only the offense did, or no, we didn't do enough to count as momentum. I'm a bit nervous. And then we ended up getting a write-in option that I should have thought of. I apologize that I didn't. No, and my perception has not changed.
I'm shocked you did not put that in there.
Wait, which way were you thinking? Because, Coach LaFleur talked about we need the momentum because we are going to be off a whole week during the playoffs while we wait. So let's try to keep some momentum going. Do you think they achieved it?
Well, it makes me nervous because we don't have a great history of coming out of a bye midseason anyway. Granted, we were playing those pesky West Coast teams back in the day, which is a possibility. We obviously don't know who we're going to be playing. Whoever we play will be a tough competitor for sure. But I still think that the momentum is there because I don't get the impression that anybody from the Packers team is down and out about this game. Everyone seems to be pretty positive about it in terms of, just even from the community. The players that got the experience or that needed the experience got the experience. Sure, the defense didn't look as good as we'd like them to be, but we didn't expect them to be at even 100%. Not in terms of health, but in terms of effort. They're trying to keep themselves healthy. So I don't expect the defense to play at their top tier. So I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna say both offense and defense. I know that seems a little Pollyanna. I'm sounding a little bit like Wayne when I say that.
Oh my!
I think that both sides of the ball did what they needed to do in terms of preparation. Would I have liked to see the win? Yes. Would I feel like that would give us a little bit more confidence? Yes, but not at the risk of injuring any more players than we already did. I mean, I know you said unscathed. We still had 2 people that left the game. So
I said mostly unscathed.
Mostly unscathed.
I don't want anybody injured.
Yeah.
But, it could have been even worse, but it wasn't, thank goodness, because the Lions don't generally play as dirty as some of the other teams in our division.
Maybe not now. They used to.
Well, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Remember Sue?
I can't believe he's still playing. You don't hear about him very much anymore, though.
Nope.
Oh, my. And I'm kind of leaning toward, yes, mostly the offense. The defense, I flip-flopped for a while till I thought about it more the way you were, because I thought, man, the defense is not giving enough effort out there. They're just kind of sleepwalking through it. I hope they're not overlooking the opponent, but I think you made a great point about they're trying not to get hurt. They want to do well, but they're trying not to get hurt, and that is the name of the game. And the write-in option for, no, we didn't really do enough to keep momentum going, but my perception of the team hasn't changed. That write-in option got 40% of the votes.
Mm-hmm.
So I really should have thought of that one. Yes, but only the offense got 31%. And then yes, both offense and defense got 15%, and 14% of the voters said no, and I'm a bit nervous about it.
Mm-hmm. We had some comments in the poll. First off, Jared in Colorado said, Packers offense managed to put up 30 points with backups playing a little more than half the game. The defense played a regression game even when the starters were on the field. That makes me nervous. I get it. I'm not as nervous because I can't remember who it was. Was it Troy Aikman that said, we haven't seen the Packers at their top potential yet this season. Hopefully we'll see that in the playoffs because everybody full health, everybody given 110%. I think that's when we'll be surprised by the defense. Also, David said, my perception hasn't changed. Their defense hasn't really played well since the bye. It was a meaningless game with starters only playing for really a half, with anyone who had injuries not playing, even if they could have. I don't think this was really a game for momentum, but more about giving game reps to guys to stay sharp. And I agree with David 100%. This was less about momentum and more about, I think it was Dan that said something to the effect of, making sure the pads weren't sticky. The equipment, was still like in working order. So this is about making sure that there was no rust as we go into a potentially 3-week break. If you look at the Detroit game as a break, not that they're pushovers. That's not what I mean by that. But it's all about keeping the game going, keeping them in shape, and keeping them with that on-field experience.
But isn't that really almost the same thing as momentum?
Yeah, I mean, what David's talking about here with momentum is you want that momentum in terms of keeping the win streak alive, right? Keeping a win streak alive will definitely, make you feel a lot better going into the playoffs. On the other hand, it might make you feel like you have a bit more to prove. Like we came off of that loss. Like we're in a must-win situation now, obviously, because it's the playoffs. There's no losers bracket. It's you win or you go home. So this was not a win or go home situation. This was a stay healthy and keep in shape, in game shape.
And I like the comments Scott Bors posted as well to the poll. Second string in for a half and we lose only by 7. Detroit ran how many trick plays? No one's going to do that in the playoffs. At least I don't think they will. And I think that's an excellent point. Some team might have maybe one trick play they've got in their pocket for the playoffs, but generally only if you're a team with a record of 2-13-1 and you just want to, show up your division rivals that are always the kings of the North. That's when you empty out the playbook with trick plays.
Yeah. We had some other great posts and comments unrelated to the poll question that were made over in the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community group, which you can find at packerscommunity.com. Aaron Peterson shared a post about AR-12's responses to all of the made-up leaks and stories and added, quote, "Gotta respect Rodgers coming hard at this BS." I don't know if everybody saw that, but wasn't it like Boomer Esiason?
Yes.
They came out and said that he heard that Rodgers was going to boycott the Super Bowl if they made it to the Super Bowl, which it's got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. He had from a quote reliable source.
Yeah.
Go check out that post to see Rodgers' response. But on top of that, Troy also added that the best part is the aftermath comments. There were some gold, like meme-worthy things in there that were pretty great to see. So,
and that was just from the other quarterbacks on the team, Jordan Love, Kurt Benkert, and the rest.
Yeah. Then you get all the fans and stuff doing it too. It was pretty hilarious. AP also posted his own question in the Facebook group. Which team are you most worried about the Pack playing in the playoffs? Be sure to chime in with your thoughts while we wait for the results from Wildcard Weekend, because that conversation is still continuing. It's a lot of good stuff. But some of the early thoughts from Dictus in Netherlands, he said the Bucks, and that's not a rational answer, but it is my answer. Are you kidding? That's who I'm most nervous about. Anytime Tom Brady's involved, that makes me very nervous. Also, Garrett said the Niners right now, unstoppable run game. Granted, they were playing the Eagles. No. They weren't playing the Eagles. Who were they playing?
Last night they played the Rams.
The Rams, thank you. Okay. I was thinking Dallas and Eagles. Okay. Or the Cowboys and Eagles. But yeah, the Niners run game is pretty unstoppable. And I wouldn't like to play them either. What about you, Wayne?
So that's definitely your answer would be the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, for sure, yeah.
It could go any which way. Common sense would lead me to say the Buccaneers just because they're the reigning champs and they're the number 2 seed.
And Tom Brady.
Yeah, and
Hey,
I'm
you
not
gotta
going to go
respect the
there.
Dude.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention anything else. But I think as far as the one that it just on the surface kind of would scare me if they get healthy at the right time and able to come in. I wonder what the Cardinals could do in a rematch against the Packers.
Yeah, that would be nerve-wracking as well. To be clear, I don't think we'd face the Bucs because we got to face the lowest seeded team in that first round, right? Or not in the wild card round, obviously, because we're not there, but the first time we're in the playoffs.
Aaron Peterson said he didn't necessarily say who we would play first that you're scared of, just which team are you most worried about playing in the playoffs? So,
yeah. I'd like to face the Cowboys, though, just because I think that'd be a cool game to have McCarthy back in Lambeau.
Oh, okay. The storylines are playing out, and that could happen.
It totally could happen.
Yeah, and Dan Dyler last Monday reminded us in the group that Aaron Rodgers was going to appear on the Monday Night Football Manning cast in the second half of that Steelers-Browns game, and he did, and it was gold.
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
He was on there a long time. He was just having fun with Eli and Peyton and just chatting away. And Aaron Rodgers, they even got on a little side tangent, if you can find it online. Aaron Rodgers, he went way over the top and I think embellished the truth a lot, talking about the extreme and wonderful methods that Coach LaFleur uses to get his eyebrows as perfect as they are. And things like that. They were just having fun. And Eli was talking about, Aaron, ever since that fake toe injury of yours, you've had so many touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yeah, I think I saw a meme with something to that effect. I kind of wish I could have seen it.
So that's so good. So be sure to join the Facebook group, be part of the conversations, let your voice be heard. We'll have a post up for a wild card discussion thread for all weekend to talk about those games as we await to see who's coming to Green Bay the following week. But let's check in on the emails. Wayne and Scott, this is CCR from Green Bay. And although we did lose the game against the Lions, we had some great plays, such as Adams passing Jordy Nelson's record and DeGuara getting that 62-yard touchdown and the 2-point conversion from Jordan Love. Happy to see Bakhtiari back as well. No matter what happens, go Pack go, bleed green and gold till dead and cold. Caleb, Kathy, and Roy Fisher. Thanks.
We also got an email from Megan. She says, Wayne and Scott, I'm not able to call this week, but had to send you a few quick notes to share on the podcast. My guess is that she lost her voice from screaming during this game. It's just going on a limb there. Megan goes on to say, first off, Aaron was on fire. Devontae was on fire. Allen was on fire. Weeks in a row now. Fun to see Patrick Taylor get a chunk of carries and the score in the second half. It was awesome to see Dave back in action, as well as Myers. Both seemed to fit pretty seamlessly back in. I got to agree there. It was like they were never gone. It was great. Hard to see Lucas, Patrick, and Yosh have to be out, but they carry us this far. Definitely a team effort. Defensively, I think it was crystal clear what Devondre Campbell adds to the middle because he wasn't there to do it today. I'm glad he will be available. He is very much a critical piece of our defense. Anxious to see who will come to Lambeau in 2 weeks. Until then, I hope the boys and coaches get some R&R and heal up their bodies for the home stretch. Green and gold till I'm dead and cold. Heck of a regular season. Cheers to Matt and company. Bring on the playoffs, Megan. Thank you so much, Megan. And speaking of Coach LaFleur, when do the Coach of the Year awards things come out? Because I just can't even think of who else would be in the running. It's got to be LaFleur, right?
I would think so, but a lot of people are talking about the coach of the Titans as well.
Mm-hmm.
But since I don't follow the AFC quite as closely as the NFC for obvious reasons, up until about a week ago, I kind of forgot that the Titans were still in the playoffs, and here they are, the number one seed in the AFC.
Yep, they're doing pretty well. As always, your calls, emails, comments, and support are so much a part of the Packers Fan Podcast. Thank you very much. Remember to join the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community and be part of the conversations at packerscommunity.com. Moving on to our score predictions. Both Wayne and I predicted the Packers to win this week, so neither of us get a point. However, if the differential means anything, my differential when I picked the Packers 27, Lions 17 was 23. Wayne's differential with a score of 24-21 as his prediction gave him a differential of 22. So it was very, very close, and but obviously it does not matter because the final score was Packers 30 and Lions 37. So that means that for our 2021 season wager o fun, Wayne has the lead by a score of 7-6. So the question I have for you, Wayne, is that it? Are we doing this regular season, or are we counting playoffs? Do I have another chance here? Do we put up to the community? I'm grasping at straws here.
I love it. Although I gladly would accept the victory and get to work on picking out Doctor Who episodes for you to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I do think since the Packers have done us a solid and made it to the playoffs, we should ride this wager o fun as far as the Packers take us.
In the words of Napoleon Dynamite, yes. I like it. And fun fact, too, I was talking to one of my coworkers about our little wager here. And she is a massive Doctor Who fan. I told her about your podcast.
Oh, cool!
And she has already started a list of episodes that she thinks that I should watch as well. One of them being Don't Blink. She's saying you absolutely have to watch Don't Blink. So
yeah, Blink is
what it's worth, or Blink.
Yes, definitely. We shall see. The NFC North final standings, as you know, the Packers are 13-4, Vikings are 8-9 and need a new coach and a new GM. The Bears are 6-11 and need a new coach and a new GM. The Lions beat us. They are now 13-1. And so there you have it, NFC North champs by a mile. And some of the other good stuff that caught our eye this weekend, The Buffalo Bills, what an interesting game they had. They haven't had to punt at all for 2, maybe even 3 weeks. But this week in Buffalo, with a fair amount of wind, their punter absolutely shanked 3 punts in a row.
Oh, no.
Now, granted, one of them didn't really count because of a penalty, so he got to repunt, and it was an even worse shank. It was unbelievable. I think maybe he got rusty because he just doesn't have to punt much for the Bills. So
maybe that's what it is. See, there you go. That's why you got to keep playing and keep on the field and keep doing it. Otherwise, you get some rust buildup.
Yeah, the Bills are no joke.
Yeah. Also, that Chargers-Raiders game last night came down to the wire. I did not get a chance to watch it. I fell asleep too early. But here's the cool thing about that game, and even the announcers were talking about this leading up to the game. If that game had ended in a tie, both teams would have advanced to the playoffs. But the game did go into overtime, so I'm sure people were going, is this going to happen? Is this really going to happen? Vegas kicked a game-winning field goal in like I said, the very last play of overtime to give them the victory, which also kept Pittsburgh in the playoffs. So Pittsburgh fans were probably just shaking like a leaf wherever they were watching that game. But were you in the camp, Wayne, of hoping that they might have just all knelt on the ball for 4 quarters just to see that happen in an NFL game?
No. Although it would have been cool to happen if it would have just happened naturally, organically, as the kids say. But let's face it, the teams want to win. Yeah. And I think, since the Raiders and Chargers are division rivals, and they really don't like each other much, I think the Raiders wanted to make sure they won that game, kept their division rival out of the playoffs, not only because they probably feel better about facing Pittsburgh potentially. They don't want to have to face the Chargers again in the playoffs. So, sucks for you, LA Chargers.
No, here's what I would have wanted to happen. I wanted them to have this gentleman's agreement to kneel on the ball for 4 quarters.
Wait a minute.
And
then wait, a gentleman's agreement with the Raiders.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, continue.
Well, let me finish the story so you can see where I'm going with this. I would have wanted them to have this agreement to kneel on the ball, and then the last series, the Raiders just, oh, we're going to kneel on the ball. No, we're not. Fade back, pass for the score, game over, just to stick it to him even more. That would have been the most entertaining thing the entire season.
Okay.
That would have been great.
So you do understand the Raiders more than I thought you did. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That would have been insane.
It would have been great. And we would have been talking about that for years and years to come. I don't know. I just want to see something on a game that we've never seen before, and I've never seen. I'm sure that it was discussed and talked about, and I would be willing to bet that the NFL, someone in the higher ranks, came to both teams and said, listen, we've got sponsors doing the commercials for these games, and they want people watching this game. There's no way that the NFL was going to allow that to happen, but man, did I want it to happen.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting indeed. And yeah, what a crazy season. And that game went on forever. I mean, it didn't end till 9 o'clock here. So 11 o'clock for you, midnight for the East Coast. And, Ben Roethlisberger probably thought, because they needed a lot of things to happen for them to be able to get in. And so Roethlisberger thought, I've played my last game. It's been a good career. Going to retire. Wait, what? The Colts lost to the Jags? Wait a minute. Yeah. And this happened? Okay, I'll suit up at least one more time.
It's like being on call for work. You think you're done for your shift, and then you have to go in at the last minute. Anyway, I want to remind everybody about my other podcast called The Gaming Outsider, which can be heard at the same places you listen to this fine show, and I hope that you will check it out. This week, we are taking a look back at our New Year's resolutions from last year to see how we stacked up, and we're also making some new ones for 2022. And those resolutions include just regular old resolutions, but also games relevant to playing video games. And seeing, we actually went back to the tape last year to listen to what we said, and going to see how we all did this year. I have a feeling we're all going to be quite embarrassed on how that goes, but tune into that. If you'd like to check out our website, it's thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all our episodes there, as well as editorials and reviews on our website. Again, thegamingoutsider.com.
MVP when it comes to the Packers Fan Podcast is the same thing as value for value, and that's the model that helps keep the show alive. Patreon is the place where you can help financially support your Packers Fan Podcast. Your support helps cover the costs of the site, the MP3 hosting, the URLs, the online audio system we use to record the show from 2 different locations, since although Scott sounds like he's in the same room with me, he's way over in Rockford, also for the audio editing software and so forth. But when you join as a patron, you not only really help out the show, and we don't take that lightly, but you also get fun rewards like shout-outs in the MVP portion of the show that you're hearing right now, swag at the higher levels, and stuff like that. Details are at patreon.com/PackersFanPodcast. And contrary to the internet confusion, Jim Ringo was not a member of the Beatles. Even better, Ringo was a Packers legend. With that being said, go, Pack, go to Dan Dyler for his Jim Ringo level patronage. Also, go, Pack, go to you, Bryant, supporting at the Willie Wood level. Much appreciated, and thank you for your service. Go, Pack, go, Mr. J. Walters. AR12's inspiration for your support of the show is awesome.
Also, Go Pack Go is going out to our Brett Favre level patrons, Jeff Summerfield, Andre in LA, Colm Nolan from Ireland, Scott Boers, and Miguel Ramirez from the Opposites Attract podcast. Also, our Curly Lambo-inspired Go Pack goes to Beth Mentink, Joe Christensen, Hank Davis from the TPE Network of Podcasts, and Matt Haig. Thanks again for all of your support. Details on how you can join in on the fun can be found once again at patreon.com/Packers Fan Podcast.
Thank you so very much. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, so there's that. But please follow the Packers Fan Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And since sharing is caring, please tell a friend or 2 or 10 about the old Packers Fan Podcast.
Also, if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, our handle is @PackersFanPod. My personal handle is @GoCastScott, and Wayne's is @WayneHenderson. And as we wait to find out which NFC team has to come to Lambeau Field first in the playoffs, it's Patreon supporter Dan Dyler.
Hey, Packers Fan Podcast listeners. This is your cheesehead from Indianapolis, Dan. And I have just two words for you. Go, 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 Pack, go!